Welcome to the Soulful Success by Design podcast. I'm Kendra Woods, your host, and a former corporate healthcare executive turned entrepreneur. After battling burnout, I discovered the magic of human design. As a 6'2" splenic projector, I am here to lead you on a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, and unstoppable growth. So join me as we dive into the world of human design, mindset, energetics, and aligned success. We will talk about the highs and the lows of creating soulful and meaningful success in your life and business on your terms. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Soulful Success by Design, the podcast where we dive deep into mindset, personal growth, and the power of alignment. I'm your host, Kendra, human design guide, mindset strategist, and transformational coach. So today we're going to talk about something that doesn't always get enough talk time or airtime, but in my opinion, it's everything. The breakthrough before the breakthrough. It's that sacred, invisible stretch of the journey where nothing looks like it's working, but everything is actually shifting. It's those moments when you're crying in the shower, questioning everything, and wondering if you're crazy for wanting more. Yeah, we're going to dive into that part. So, if you're in that space right now, I want you to know that you're not alone. And today's episode is for you. And before we dive in, I want to let you know about my Breakthrough to Becoming 3-session experience that I am hosting. It is now open. And so if this episode resonates and you know you're ready for your next chapter, but you feel like you're kind of in that messy middle, I created the Breakthrough to Becoming 3-session experience just for you. You can book a free mindset clarity call using the link in the show notes, or if you follow me over on Instagram, you can just DM me the word becoming and I'll personally send you the link. Okay. All right. So, what is the breakthrough before the breakthrough? Let's talk about the part of growth that most people don't show. The breakthrough before the breakthrough is it's not sexy. It's not shiny. It's not the post that you put up that gets you like a ton of likes and people commenting. It's the night that you delete everything that you are about to launch because something in your spirit says, no, this isn't it. Right? It's the moment when you're lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. Your heart is racing and you're wondering, okay, is this really going to work out? And even deeper than that, you might have be wondering at 3 in the morning, okay, am I allowed to want what I want if no one else sees it? So it's those quiet moments where you're kind of questioning everything. You are looking at yourself a little crazy, like, can I really have this? Am I really allowed to have this? No one else sees the vision yet. So am I right? Am I wrong? It's just that in between space and it's messy, right? And those are the parts that we don't see out on Instagram or Facebook, right? We don't hear people talking about them a lot. And so the way that I like to see this moment or the way that I see it in my mind is it's like the seed that's underground. Nothing is blooming yet, but at the same time, everything is happening. Okay, like roots are forming, soil is shifting, and from the outside, it looks like nothing's working. That is the breakthrough before the breakthrough. It's not a rival, it's a becoming. And interesting, during this season, do you want to know what dies in this season every single time? The illusion of control dies away. Because when you're in this phase, right, the breakthrough before the breakthrough phase, it really humbles you because control makes you feel safe until it doesn't. We like to cling to plans, timelines, formulas because our ego tells us if we can just manage it all, we'll finally be okay. But here's the thing, the deeper parts of you, the soul parts of you, your heart doesn't speak in checklists and formulas. your heart and your soul speaks to you in whispers, speaks to you in feelings. It speaks to you in energetic nudges. You don't get to quote unquote optimize your way into your next level. You have to really surrender your way into it. During this time, your soul is whispering to you, your heart's whispering to you. And the thing that we've got to know is the whispers of the soul don't shout at all. The whisper of your soul says, pause. This isn't your truth. You're trying to make something work that's already expired. Just listen, right? So like the whisper of your soul is trying to get you to slow down, to turn inward, to listen to your own wisdom, to recalibrate, to realign. But what we tend to do during this period is we ignore it because we want certainty. We want the guarantee. We want the freaking breakthrough already, right? It's like we want to just be on the other side. But your soul doesn't work in guarantees. It doesn't work in certainty. It doesn't work in checklists or formulas. Your soul and your heart deals in alignment. It deals in deeper truth and in right timing. And that's what makes this season so uncomfortable because the mind gets really loud during this time. And we've got to know how to quiet the mind so that we can actually hear what our soul and our heart is trying to tell us. And so it requires a deep level of trust. It requires you being willing to surrender. It requires you being willing to listen to yourself and to what's happening on the inside. So I'm talking with you about this today because I mean, I've had experience after experience of these moments of the breakthrough before the breakthrough. And what I've realized is some of my biggest breakthroughs didn't start on a mountaintop. They started in silence in the places that no one could see. It wasn't in, a post that I put out on social media that got a bunch of attention. It wasn't on a perfectly planned launch day or a perfectly planned work day, but it was in those quiet, aching moments where I was questioning everything. And sometimes these are the moments I wish that more women entrepreneurs would talk about, those moments where they questioned everything. Because when we don't see that, what I feel happens and what's been my experience, I should say, is I wonder when I look at some of these women out in the world and that have bigger businesses than me that I aspire to reach, right? Or even some of my mentors, that I work with. I'm like, okay, does she ever have a moment where she just questions everything, where she thinks things aren't working? I want to know, like, does she have those moments? And I think you probably feel this way too, right? When you're seeing all the beautiful, Instagram posts and pictures and stories and things like that, and you wonder, gosh, maybe something's wrong with me because it seems like this woman out here has it all figured out. I don't see her questioning herself. I don't see her like having moments, where she's just crying. But it happens. It happens. And I will be honest with you, it's happened to me often. Like there was a time when I sat on the edge of my bed in full blown tears, talking with my husband, looking at my husband and saying, like, I don't know if it's working. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep going, like questioning everything. And in those moments, I remember like my heart felt so heavy. Those moments I was exhausted. Nothing seemed to be moving. Everything felt like too quiet on the outside and really loud in my mind. And in this particular moment that I'm sharing with you, just a few weeks later, I had a 10K month. Nobody saw that coming. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know it was in the works. I'm just showing up, doing my thing, feeling like it's not working, things aren't moving, and then boom. So it was almost like life was showing me that silence wasn't punishment, it was preparation. And I've seen this again and again. I've noticed this cycle in my own business, in my own journey. When things get quiet in my business, when engagement drops, when sales stall, or nobody's reaching out, that's when my mind gets the loudest, right? The fear says, oh, what if this isn't it? What if it always stays this slow? What if you've lost your magic, Kendra? What if, you got lucky just that one time? And it's funny because the mind has a way of really amplifying your fears when the soul is simply asking for stillness. And yet, during those moments, they cracked me wide open. They cracked me wide open. They stripped away the noise, they peeled off the masks I didn't even realize I was wearing, and they called me home, back to my soul, back to my truth, back to the version of me that I decided that I wanted to be. Not the version, where I'm performing just to be liked, validated, or perceived as successful, right? Like I've stepped out of that space of performing in order to prove and have learned that it's really about being in presence. It's not about performance, it's about presence. But I think we need to normalize these moments that we have when you're building a business because it's not all up and up and up and up and up. Growth is not linear. It's more like a spiral, right? And in almost a decade of doing this work, I've realized, okay, this is a cycle. And this cycle of the breakthrough before the breakthrough is something I go through again and again. There's always the quiet before the breakthrough. There's always a breakdown before the breakthrough. And these days, currently, when that breakdown comes, when things start to feel like they're unraveling, I don't panic the way that I used to. I used to panic and think, oh my gosh, this is it, right? Like all those thoughts that I just told you before, like, okay, what if this is it? What if it's always going to be like this? But I don't panic anymore. Now I know that in these moments of stillness, when things kind of slow down and things seem like they're not working, I know that something great is on the other side. I know that clarity is just around the corner. I know that something sacred is being rearranged inside of me. And it's almost like a pressure system building up inside my being, inside my spirit, energy that's being recalibrated so that I can step into my next chapter from a place of deeper truth, not just louder hustle. So, if you are feeling yourself in this fog right now, if things feel heavy or things feel unclear or like you're on the edge of tears more than usual, it's okay. I want you to know that you are not broken. You're in a cocoon, right? And on the other side of this sacred discomfort is the woman you've been asking to become. So, I want to invite you to trust the pause. I want to invite you to trust the pattern. I want to invite you to trust the fire because it's not trying to burn you, it's trying to forge you into who you've said that you wanted to become. Because this is a beautiful thing. It's really fun to sit and imagine this woman we want to step into. It can be fun to see the vision of this next level version of ourselves. And we're like, yes, I want to be her. I want to be the version that, has a 7-figure business or a multi 6-figure business. I want to be the version that has written the book, that is speaking on stages or has a full client roster, whatever your version is. Or maybe there's a version of you where you're traveling often and you are connecting with other women around the world as you're traveling, creating communities and coaching. Maybe that's your version, but whoever your version of you is, you see her and you're like, yes, I want to become her. That's what I want to step into. And what we don't realize is that in order to step into that, there's got to be a recalibration period that happens. There's got to be kind of like this sacred unfolding and shedding of who you once were so that you could actually step into that. So, the thing that makes this space so uncomfortable and potent at the same time, and why this phase can feel so hard, is because as you're making this transition, you've outgrown your current self concept, but you haven't quite stepped into the new one yet. You are not who you were, but you're also not yet who you're becoming. You're in between identities, and that space can feel so terrifying. It's like it's like walking through a hallway with no doors in sight. And you're just like, okay, where am I going? Like, where is this leading? And your mind wants an answer. It wants to know where this is going. But this part of the journey, it doesn't come with a map. During this time, your nervous system is rewiring, is trying to expand into the frequency of your next level. But your mind, what is your mind doing? Your mind wants proof. It wants data. It wants results. It wants evidence. It wants guarantees. It wants you to play it safe because the unfamiliar feels like danger, even when it's your liberation. While at the same time, your spirit is whispering to you, let's go, surrender, trust me, I've got you. But your fear is clinging to the familiar like it's a life raft, right? So even in that familiar version, even if that familiar version of you is keeping you small, even if it's silently suffocating you, your fear is like, nope, let's just stay here. This feels good. And here's the part that no one talks about is that no one claps for this season. There's no applause for letting go of who you thought you had to be. There's no Instagram reel going viral for the night you cry on your bathroom floor and you're like, oh, it's all over. No one's throwing you a party for choosing alignment over people pleasing. But what I've come to know as the truth is that this is where the magic is brewing. This is where real identity work happens. This is where power is born. So, again, if you're in this space right now, this foggy, tender, soul wrenching in between, I want you to hear what I'm going to say next in your bones. You are not failing. You are not lost. You are becoming. This space that you're in is not a void. It's like a womb. It's a sacred cocoon where your old skin is shedding and your wings are starting to form. And it takes time. So let the identity fall away. Let the timeline dissolve. Let the tears come and let yourself be held not by productivity, not by your performance, but by your compassion and by your grace. This is not the end. It's not the end. And how I see this is when you're at this space, it's like the holy threshold. Like you're right there. But the more you resist it, the longer it lingers. The more you sit in this space of, I can do this all on my own, I've got this, the more it lingers. Because one thing I've also learned during this time is that having support, giving yourself the gift of support in whatever way that looks like for you. Maybe it is your community that you're a part of. Maybe it's hiring a mentor. Maybe it is, having your family there supporting you. Like during these times when you're in this tender season, you can't let yourself think that you can just go it alone. Like, oh, I've got this. I've got this. I'm good. I don't need no help. And sometimes I think that, especially when you're an ambitious, spiritual, soul-led woman, You can have this idea of, I got this, I can handle it on my own. And sometimes we do this unconsciously, not even realizing it, because maybe there's a story or there's an experience we had growing up where we just had to take care of everything, where we had to grow up too fast, or we had to take on more responsibility than we should have at a certain age. And so we never really learned to ask for help. We really never learned how to let ourselves be supported as we're moving through these phases. But the more we resist the support, the more we resist where we are, the more we push back against it and try to be more productive instead of listening, the longer the season kind of lingers. But when you soften, when you can surrender into the mystery of it all, you invite the next version of you to rise. And so this is exactly why I created my Breakthrough to Becoming 3 session experience, the experience I mentioned at the very beginning of this conversation, because I know that so many women are standing at the edge of their next level, but they're doubting the process because it doesn't look like the highlight reel. And so this package is for the woman who's in the fog of transformation. She knows there's more for her. She can feel the next chapter calling, but she needs a safe space to process, to anchor, to rise. And so what we do in these 3 sessions is we'll unravel the beliefs that are keeping you stuck in the in-between. We'll reconnect you to your power, your clarity, your truth, and activate the energy of your next level self so that you can move forward with soul and certainty. So this experience isn't strategy only coaching. This is soul level support. And I want to invite you to look at it like your initiation into your becoming. Yeah. So if this episode resonated with you and you're listening to this and you're like, yep, I get where she's coming from. I've been there or I'm there now. If you're feeling the stir of truth in your belly, then I invite you to book a mindset clarity call with me. Let's talk, right? Let's feel into whether this 3 session journey is for you. I'm going to leave the link for you to do that in the show notes, or again, you can DM me the word becoming on Instagram and I'll send you the link personally. And so I'm going to leave you with this. And I think I probably said this in the last episode too, but it's really something that's sitting in my heart lately. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is honor the sacred fire of the in-between. So I hope that this episode encouraged you and inspired you, created some clarity for you, and just spoke to your heart. And I also hope that it normalized for you and helped you see and understand that when you go through moments where it seems like nothing's happening, where you're doubting yourself, where, you're just in tears, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if this is working. That doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It just simply means that you're in process and it's a part of the process. All right. So know that I see you, I'm with you, and I am holding space for your next breakthrough. So until next time, have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Soulful Success by Design. If you enjoyed our conversation and found value in it, please leave a rating and review on iTunes to help me continue bringing more inspiring content your way. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Soulful Success by Design or visit my website at KendraKWoods.com for extra inspiration and resources. I appreciate you so much and can't wait to connect with you in the next episode. Until then, remember to create success from your soul and on your